Welcome, everyone. It's the Mike Tech Show, show number 948. Today, going to talk about a lot of solutions that I was working on this past week with clients. We're going to go into the Dell Advanced BIOS, an option that I'm very curious about, that I was surprised. Deep cleaning Windows and all the utilities that I do. And that's what I was working on Thursday night. So that's why I'm recording this on Saturday afternoon now. It's rescheduled. A Quicken 2017 trick. So to get that working under Windows 11, SMTP relay. Got to talk to that about that again. So let's start out with no, you know what? Give me a second here. Want to thank Instant House Call for sponsoring the Mike Tech Show podcast. And you want to take advantage of this incredible deal. Check it out. Go to the website, miketechshow.com, and then you'll see an orange link in the show for the show notes. And you can check out this incredible deal, $7 for a year. That's insane to have full featured remote support software to use unlimited, 10 sessions at a time, 10 concurrent sessions. It is amazing. Take a look at the link that I have in the show notes because it goes over everything. It's the full version of Instant House Call. $468 a year, and you're going to get that for $7. This is unbelievable. You got to click on the link on the order page, and you got to test it out. You can't lose. This is phenomenal. So I want to thank Instant House Call for offering this deal to Mike Tech Show listeners, and take advantage of that. All right, the first thing I want to talk about is the Dell Advanced BIOS. We have a client that my son's been doing all the replacement systems for Windows 11. So they ordered a whole bunch of laptops and desktops. And on one of the laptops, we order everything minimum 512 gig for the NVMe hard drive. And these are laptops I will only do Dell Latitudes, just like the systems are only going to be Optiplexes. It makes it easy. When you're dealing with the number of clients we are and the number of computers, it just keeps everything so much easier for support, where I can manage from one portal on the Dell's website. It just makes everything easier. So the user needs more. And we kind of missed this when we were going over the systems, and we have to replace the hard drive. And no problem. I ordered a 2 terabyte NVMe drive for my son to replace. And he takes it out, he puts it in and gets his Windows 11 stick, and it can't find the hard drive. He's trying everything and it can't find it. Go into the BIOS, and he was trying every option, and then finally clicked on Advanced BIOS on the upper left-hand side, and that gives more options. And one of the options then changes for the controller, and the controller was set at RAID, and he set it to AHCI, and then was able to find it. So it's interesting. On a laptop where there's only one drive, so you can't really have RAID. Now, I understand they use their standard chipset, but they build Windows by default with the driver built in, and clearly we don't have that RAID driver on the boot of Windows 11, so it can't find the drive. So we had to make that change on the laptop. He had to be able to get that, to be able to start the Windows 11 install on a 2 terabyte drive. So I don't know if anybody else runs into that. That's why I wanted to share it. So you have to, hit F2, go into the BIOS, and then once you toggle advanced on, then you get all these extra options. So now another trick that I'm going to go over that I've discussed in the past, and I had to use it this week. So there's an MSP in Pennsylvania that I know. We go back, years and years. And now he has a client who has a presence in Florida. And so we've worked out where I'm helping him out and doing some subcontract work. And the client has 4 systems that their old IT removed the admin account, and they were all tied to Azure. The bottom line is they couldn't get into their systems anymore. And so the IT company won't take care of it, won't help them. So I went down, and what I had to do is create a local admin account. Now, this is going to be the link that I want to talk about. Give me a second here. I got to pause that. Interesting. I didn't have the link set up on my test. Give me a second here. So I paused the recording, I didn't pause the video. So if you're watching the video, you're seeing me do this, and now I got the link ready. Okay, here we go. So I have notes on how to reset a password or even create an account on any Windows computer. This is a great hack. And I have the instructions written down, and I was going to just make a PST that you can that you could run, you could download and read it. But I figured, you know what, this is easier to. I found a website that I'm able to link. What you have to do is boot from an install USB or CD. Mostly it's going to be USB. So I have Windows 11 USB sticks. Once you boot that, you click on troubleshoot, because you want to go to repair options. You don't want to install Windows 11. So you go to troubleshoot, then advanced options, and then pick the command prompt. And that's an admin command prompt on that computer. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy the Windows System 32 util.exe to the C drive. Then you're going to enter confirm. Now, you're going to also copy, and I noticed, you know what, they don't have the backslash here. So they really should, for System 32, what you're going to do is copy the cmd exe to replace the utilman.exe. So you make a safety copy of the utilman, and then you replace the utilman as cmd. Now, utilman is an accessory when you boot up, and there's an icon that you can click for bringing up a keyboard, it's a trick where now, instead of bringing up like a Windows keyboard on the operating system on the boot screen or one of the other utilities, it's going to automatically open a command prompt as an administrator. So this is great. So you type net user and then the username and the password. Very, very simple. Then you want to add it to the administrator group. My PST is actually better than these than this than these notes. But for visually right now, you get the idea. I'm actually going to have a PST with the instructions on how to do this. Now, once you're at the command line and you create an account, you have to add them to the local administrators group, and that's easy. It's net local group administrators, and then the user you add it, and then /add. You now have an account that you can log in, and you can be an administrator. And now you can create an account, do whatever you want. If someone forgot their password, you can use this method to reset the password. It is very simple. Then you can go back and you can recopy util man back to the system 32. So this way you can have it. I don't always do that because this is great to be able to quickly from the boot screen, just to be able to open a command prompt, which it's invaluable. So this is a great hack that I've had to use, and I was able to do this on all the systems instead of redoing the system from scratch, which is what they thought was going to have to happen. In minutes, I had them logged in and up and running, and all I had to do was just make sure the new account that I created for them and the new profile, which was a local account, everything was fine. They had full access to everything. And I spent a couple hours on, working with them, making sure everything works, making sure they can still print, making sure they can do everything. And that was my Wednesday. So now, what was I doing Thursday night that I knew it was going to take a lot of time on a couple systems that it had to get done Thursday night, and it's why I couldn't do my show and had to schedule it for today, for Saturday. I had to deep clean some systems. And when you deep clean, I always want to know what you do for deep cleaning a system. And email me, miketechshow@gmail.com. And I would love to know your list, because I'm going to review today what I do. And let's take a look at this. So the first thing I always run is Malwarebytes Adware Cleaner. And this is a easy program to run that will look for any kind of adware, or it even finds PUPs, programs that are unwanted. A lot of times it'll find like the Dell or HP or Lenovo utilities that you can get rid of, and it can quarantine them. I always run Adware Cleaner. The next one that I always run, and of course all of these are going to be links in the show notes. Next one is Super Anti-Spyware. Now, after I install this, I completely uninstall it. Adware Cleaner is a self-contained, you can kind of run it on its own. It's a portable utility. Super Anti-Spyware, after I am done running it, I always remove it, because it's got all kinds of pop-ups and different things that it's trying to sell to your client. You don't want to leave that around. So with Super Anti-Spyware, I will it's looking for not just spyware, but it's also all of the tracking cookies, because there's sometimes thousands of tracking cookies that can clog up, slow down your browsing. And this is just one of those things when you're browsing a computer, or when you're running on a computer that is slow, you got to chop away. And that's what I do here with running these utilities. So I do a full clean, where a full scan, and it's going to find, a tremendous amount of bad cookies that you can delete. Once that's done, I'm running the portable version of CCleaner. And CCleaner Portable, I'm going to download that right now. And you see I have Super Anti spyware there. And I'm going to open the utility. And what I'm going to do is 7-zip, and I'm going to unzip it to its own directory. And give me a second here. And now you just run the 64-bit version. I'm going to show you what I always do when I'm running. I don't do all of the extras that it's asking to do. What I'll do is a custom clean, and after I've removed all the tracking cookies, a lot of clients want to save their passwords and things on sites. So I never delete the cookies, or I let them know and go to applications here and you want to check all the browsers. I leave the cookies because of saved passwords. And then I run the cleaner. And what we're going to do is I'm doing this live right now, and it's going to want to shut down the browser. So Firefox needs to close. I don't want to close Firefox. So, because I'm running it and I'm displaying it. OneDrive, yeah, we can close OneDrive. So, and there we go. It is pretty fast, and it runs. The next, what I do is go to Tools and then Registry. Clean the registry. I leave everything defaulted, checked, and then scan for issues. And I have not run this a while on, I'm remoted into a test system. So we can review the selected issues. I don't make a backup of the registry, and we just clean it. And then I run this, go back. I run this a couple times until I'm satisfied with how many it's finding. And you see it did a good job here. So there's only a couple, 13. So we're fixing them all. And if I run this again, it'll probably find, there you go, still only one. So sometimes you got to run this like 2-3 times at least, and you can clean up unwanted registry entries. So that's that. Now, a couple tips, and I want to get rid of, you want to do the run command. So you can go Windows R, and there's two things I always do. And that is, I want to clean temp files. So we go %temp %. And then this is all of the temp files that we want to get rid of. And I will shift and right click, delete. And there's 28 temp files here. So I must have cleaned that up before. If some files are active, you will be prompted to skip it, and just skip it. So now let's do the run command again. And this time, %prefetch %. And it's going to find all of the prefetch files. Ooh, did I type that right? %prefetch. PREFETCH. You know what? I know where that is. It's Windows, and then there's a prefetch directory. There it is. I probably didn't type it right. Now, prefetch, there are a lot of files that are supposedly going to help you run faster, but I'm telling you, it cleans. Now, ready boot, I leave that directory there. So we're going to go right below, highlight everything. So I just shift end. Now I'm holding the shift key when I right click and delete. And that permanently deletes. There you go, 468 files. So now you see we're starting to really, really trim. There's another program that I run. And this is built into Windows, and it's MRP. Is it MRP? NPR. Nope. Let me pause. Uh, what is it? Give me a second here. Malicious. It's MSR. No. It's the Windows malicious Windows MSR. Let me try that, and then give me a second. No. Anyone in the chat help me? I'm drawing a blank here. The Windows malicious software removal tool. MSRT. Okay. The program is MSRT. So we go run MSRT. Software malicious tool. No, it's not. Give me a second here. You know what? I might not have it on my system here. It's MRT. Okay. Okay. I had a brain freeze. The program is MRT, and it's built into Windows. And what I'm going to do now is run that MRT, and it'll run pretty fast. It's the Microsoft Windows malicious software removal tool, MRT. And then you just click next, and then you could do a quick scan, a full scan, or a customized scan. I'm not going to run that, but I just wanted you to know what what you're running, what I'm doing as part of the cleaning process. Then I will do this, and I've talked about this a couple times, and I'm going to have this link again. This has absolutely helped me on systems, and this is DSM, which will it will run it'll provide restoring the proper image for the system. So you do an online cleanup image / restore health. You run that. It takes a few minutes to run. Then you run the system file checker, which is SFC / scan now. When you run these two, and you may have to reboot in between, you're knocking down the tree. You're just doing it piece by piece by piece as you're trying to get rid of all the junk and make the system faster and faster. So that's kind of a list. So it's, I also go into the, let's go to settings. I do this in the beginning too, which is system update. And right now this is checking for updates, but go to advanced options and then make sure there's no optional updates. And as you can see on my system here, there's no optional updates. And sometimes there's driver updates. So you want to perform the driver updates and the Windows updates. And now your system's up to date. And then adware cleaner, super any spyware, CCleaner. Then clean the temp files, the prefetch, DSM, and SPF. And that's my list. Sometimes I might do some other things, like if they were complaining about Office being slow, I might do a Microsoft Office quick repair. So that's some of the things that I do for cleaning. Please let me know, what else do you run? What do you do? and I will, in a couple weeks, I'll do an update to this and create another list. So, all right. Now, couple quick some more tips of some things that I had to do. Power outage at a client that has a peer server that runs QuickBooks, that runs the database manager. So if you're multi-user on QuickBooks, you have to have the QuickBooks database server manager running on a system. So sometimes on reboots, and this is what happened when the peer server rebooted, nobody could go into multi-user mode. It was only single user mode in QuickBooks. So I remoted into the server, and first thing you do is you make sure that the database server is running. It was not. So now you go to services and you turn it on. After you turn it on, then you run the database server manager again. And one of the things you want to do is do the scan folders. And then once you pick scan folders, it'll scan the system and it will correct any problems. So you usually have to have the default directory of where the QuickBooks files are and then click Start Scan. So I just wanted to mention that. An interesting problem with Quicken, and I have a great link. If you have a client that's upgrading to Windows 11 and they use Quicken and they use an older version and they don't want to pay for the upgrade. So this is to basically from 2014 to 2017. You have to log in to a Quicken ID to register, and that's no longer working. So someone put together this great tip on the patches that you need to run and how to edit the INI file. My client was so happy because he could not get Quicken 2017. He couldn't get it running. I found this great little website that's going to be in the show notes, and it worked. And once I edited I did the patch, and then I edited the INI, he was in, no trouble. So I needed to share that. That was a problem. All right. A lot of you have recommended SMTP to go for an SMTP relay. We have been running into all sorts of problems with Gmail, Microsoft, everybody trying to stop SMTP relay. And any company that has a scanner or a copier that they want to scan to email, you need to be able to relay to be able to do that. And it's a way of spamming, so we're not trying to spam. And so a lot of email providers are just making it tougher. So with Gmail, you have to make sure two-factor authentication is on, and then you got to go to third-party apps. You have to search for that within security, and you got to create an app password. Well, we ran into a different problem with a client that I was just able to resolve this yesterday. We have the Gmail working, and it can send an email to anyone except themselves. Where their email is hosted by Microsoft. Microsoft is blocking it and looking at the email coming from their copier as spam. So you have to allow that. And the process is and I'm going to see if I can find the proper links for this. But what you have to do is in the Microsoft Business 365 admin portal, you need to get to where the email is quarantined. You have to find that individual message and you have to allow it. And do a few of them. If you've sent a couple of them and they've built up in the queue, and once you do that, then it will create a rule that will basically allow it to you're whitelisting basically an email address. Another way is to go to the threat for the spam filtering, and in the default rule, don't create a new rule because I did this and it didn't work. Edit the default rule by adding a sender that can be allowed. And that's another way of doing it. Now, one of the things I don't like is it says the maximum is only 45 days. Now, I don't want to have to keep going back in there 45 days to keep allowing this email address coming from the copier that's never going to change. And I've actually talked with Microsoft on this, and there's no real answer to stop it. They think that if even after 45 days, it still may allow it. And I'm like, I really didn't get a good answer on this. So what's the answer? And I am testing this out, and I'm doing it this week, and I'll report back on it. There's the site SMTP to go that you can create a free address and make sure that this is not a problem anymore, except the email address that's going to be used for this from SMTP to go could still look like spam coming in. And you still may have to go through the whitelist approval to be able to accept that email. So that's still another step that, we have to go through. So, all right. That is it for this afternoon's show. And I want to thank everybody for staying subscribed and downloading the show and listening or watching on YouTube. And remember, that's youtube.com/Michael Smith MTS. Stands for the Mike Tech Show. So please check out the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget, go to the main website, MikeTechShow.com, and visit. That's where any sponsor information, especially Instant House Call and that incredible $7 deal for the year. Check that out. Donations are always gladly accepted, and thank you very much for those who donate, especially those who have a PayPal donation set up for every month. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate that. Every bit helps. And that's it. Remember, email me, MikeTechShow@gmail.com. And everything's good. Hopefully, this Thursday I'll be back regular time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's it. Have a great week. I'll see everybody on the next show. Bye-bye.